Hello, my name is David Cruz. I'm here to talk to you about using drones for the inspection of your aircraft. Every aircraft operator knows about the dangers of lightning strikes and bird strikes. Sometimes the damage is very obvious, but at other times it's not. When the flight crew believes that a strike has occurred, how do you know that the protective materials inside the aircraft skin have worked as expected? The same is true for bird strikes. Not that there's bird strike protective material within the aircraft, but how do you know how much damage has actually occurred, if any at all? Sometimes the damage is painfully obvious, like what happened on January 15th of 2009 when US Airways lost Flight 1549 as a result of bird strikes. Investigations showed the DNA of 3 Canadian geese within the contents of the engines. At other times, it can be difficult to tell, is there really a bird strike damage to the aircraft, or are we looking at multiple layers of paint that are starting to separate? How do we inspect for these types of damages? Can the inspector see all the areas? Does the inspector account for previously documented dents or repairs? When conducting those physical inspections, there's a lot of inaccuracies due to human factors, distractions, poor lighting, environmental conditions. It's unsafe from working at heights, whether if it's on scaffolding, cherry pickers, ladders, and it takes a lot of time, precious time that is costing you a fortune. And which human factors are at play? Is there a lack of communication between the shifts or between inspectors? Is complacency involved? Is there a lack of knowledge? Perhaps this inspector is new as an inspector and new to this aircraft. Are there distractions either on the airfield or perhaps even in the mind of the inspector? Maybe their thoughts are at home with a sick child or other distractions that we see creep into maintenance at times. Is there a lack of teamwork? Is the inspector fatigued? Are there a lack of resources, whether if it's poor lighting, the unavailability of scaffolding or cherry pickers due to other maintenance activities? Is there a lack of assertiveness on the part of the inspector when they suspect they may see something, but maybe they don't? It's hard to tell. Is there stress to get that plane back out, or the stress to go home at the end of the day? Is there a lack of awareness of, is this new damage or is this something that was already documented before? Is this a separation of a previous repair, but it's still within the specifications? What about norms of we've always done things this way? Does getting a closer look still involve the use of binoculars and heavy equipment? Because it's really not getting much closer, is it? So why not reduce human factors while saving millions by slashing AOD hours? Following a predefined inspection path, the automated drone captures all the required images with its onboard camera. High-quality pictures are then transferred to a PC database for detailed analysis using that software system. This allows you to localize and measure any visible damage on the aircraft surface and compare it to its digital mock-up. This software automatically generates an inspection report. That's part of your requirements. It gives you peace of mind. You can take a second look or a third look at that inspection. So this way, other people, including the FAA, EASA, whomever, to verify that the inspection was done accurately. It gives everyone peace of mind, and you can perform performance evaluations on your inspectors. This way you could look at the same detailed information that your inspector was looking at and say, okay, I agree with your findings, I don't disagree with your findings. Here we can maybe retrain that individual or even promote that individual because they're doing such a fantastic job. Additionally, the optional use of a thermal camera will also scan the aircraft for hot or cold spots. Colder spots might show hidden fuel leaks. Hot spots might show skydrow leaks, or even malfunctioning electrical and electronics equipment. Routine cabin pressure checks might show the leakage of conditioned air escaping from the fuselage. That one's difficult, as we all know, to normally find, but if you could actually see where the air is escaping, you could isolate it, repair it, and get that plane back in operation. As you can see on this little monitor here, as the drone flies around, it captures high-resolution photographs of the entire aircraft. It can be used to pinpoint even minor flaws. This 4mm by 5mm paint damage could easily be missed by the human eye, but here the drone is able to find it, measure its width, length, its exact location, and even the depth of the paint damage. So whether the inspection is scheduled or unscheduled, JGJ can quickly dispatch one or two Part 145 certified repairmen to the hub maintenance hangars right there at SDF where you're at. This saves you precious time by meeting the airplane in the hangar and performing an inspection that usually requires an entire shift. But instead of spending a day in the hangar as we set up gangways and cherry pickers so the inspectors can get a look at it, by using a drone to fly around the fuselage and inspect the aircraft, inspection times can be slashed to just 20 minutes to 90 minutes, depending on which aircraft it is. Obviously, a bigger aircraft will require a longer inspection, but still, 90 minutes compared to what the current inspection time of 8 to 12 hours is a huge time saver. This method is much faster, it's more accurate, and safer for personnel since they're not having to work at heights or in windy or dark and wet conditions. When a repair is warranted, time and money are still saved by streamlining these types of inspections. Because the drone flies inside the hangar, no FAA approval or control tower authorization is required because the drone's not flying in airspace, it's flying indoors. As I'm sure you already know, when an aircraft is grounded, it can cost you up to $150,000 an hour. That means a typical 10-hour inspection carries about a $1.5 million opportunity cost. But a JGJ drone inspection only costs $10,000 each and is much faster, efficient, objective, and reproducible. As I mentioned before, the FAA does not allow drone flights within the airport airspace, but JGJ is submitting safety data for their consideration. If we can get the ban lifted, we would have more flexibility to perform inspections outdoors, even further savings for UPS. Thank you and have a great day.